Okay, halfway through this mod I decided I was going to actually take the time to show the internals of the Buzby Tactical Storm, because I personally couldn't find any pictures or guides online, so I figured why not make this video not only about the mod that I'm doing for Ryan Engelstad, but also to showcase the internals and the ingenuity of Buzby. Now, I am a Buzby fan. I will admit that 100%. I've never tried to hide that, but I become a fan more and more. This does not have the exact same internals as the Champion, the Reaper, or the Interceptor, but it has the same plunger tube and breach. Now that's the key. Plunger tube, breach, and catch mechanism. Those remain constant, and that's where the Buzby reliability and performance come from. And of course that nice big plunger tube right there. I mean, that is a big plunger tube for a stock blaster. And that's also, that big air volume is part of where you get your performance. But I wanted to show how the Tactical Storm operates and the simplicity of Buzby in their engineering. And I mean simplicity in a very, very good way. Basically, other than priming, the trigger does everything. The trigger, as you pull it back, it's connected to both the catch mechanism back here via this rod, as well as the dart tooth up here via this metal rod. Okay, you prime the blaster back, pull this back, picture the handle being up there. The plunger rod assembly pushes out through the back here. It's caught. You then move forward, and just so you know, that is a dart guide. It is spring loaded. It prevents a misfeed into the breach by pushing the dart down slightly. That's why a Tactical Storm will have far less jams and misfeeds than a Retaliator or Recon. Okay, now you're forward. Now, the key thing, this trigger has a very beefy spring because it pulls the dart tooth down and pushes this rod backwards, which has a ramp on it, and that pulls the catch mechanism, which is a direct catch, very sturdy, and then the plunger tube can fly forward, or plunger rod can fly forward into the plunger tube, and then of course at that point the dart flies out the front. Very simple design, and this dart tooth stays out of the way until you release the trigger, and then the whole system gets closed back down. Of course, I've got everything loose, so it wants to shift and move, but you get the idea. Pull the trigger, and you can release everything, and I can get this plunger tube back out of here by moving that dart guide, slide that out, and that's all there is to it. Very simple mechanism. I might actually even upload this as its own separate video. That's why I'm recording it as a separate segment, because I find that very neat. The fact that they do that, and the way they do it, the way they've engineered this is simple, extremely effective, and extremely reliable. The whole system is just predicated on the function of the trigger, with very simple connections to the catch and to the dart tooth. If you take apart a Nerf blaster, it's much more complicated with separate systems, with more moving parts, more things to fail, more things you need to upgrade. I don't need to upgrade this catch. If you watch my Recon Mark II video, I recommended upgrading the Nerf style catch to a metal worker version, and I always would. If you're only going to do 7 kilograms, Buzby catches are far superior to Nerf catches. You do not need to touch this. You don't need to upgrade the trigger springs. You don't need to upgrade anything other than this spring. Clean up your airflow by getting rid of the air restrictor, and you're good to go.